Hi, welcome back to my channel. Please subscribe to get a new videos. Tokyo, Japan. The 30 best cities in the world. Tokyo is the most populous city in the world and a treat to visit. I have it at 30 because I have been several times and feel like I haven't even scratched the surface of everything it has to offer. But the food is no joke and the organized chaos scenes at traffic crossings are the best on earth. Miami, USA. The 30 best cities in the world. Miami. I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with Miami. I usually hate it, but sometimes I love it, yet I continually go back over and over again. That's because Miami can be annoying, expensive and pretentious, but it also boasts amazing weather, restaurants, scenery and a lot of different areas besides just South Beach. That's why I have it at 29 and not higher. Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. The 30 best cities in the world. Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. Ho Chi Minh City, better known as Saigon, is a frenetic Asian city with a ton on offer. I love strolling around the sweltering streets and just seeing what comes in between, dodging motorbikes buzzing around every corner. Great street food, cool sights and a modern touch to an old city make it a lot of fun and a must in Southeast Asia. Beirut, Lebanon. The 30 best cities in the world. Beirut, Lebanon. Beirut is the new addition to this list that I've only been to twice, 10 years apart, and it's a city that you cannot help but fall in love with. Take away the horrible traffic, and it is awful, and I'd have it higher on the list. It's basically a cosmopolitan Mediterranean city with some of the world's best food, great nightlife and a cool vibe. They call it the Paris of the Middle East, and I totally get it. It's also a great base to explore everything that Lebanon has to offer. St. Petersburg, Russia. The 30 best cities in the world. St. Petersburg, Russia. St. Petersburg is just fantastic. It's the Russia you dream about, with towering spires, colorful buildings, world-class museums, excellent hotels and restaurants with a lot of history to boot. I was there again this past summer for the World Cup Russia 2018 and they knocked it out of the park with perhaps the best stadium I've ever been to outside of America. Toronto, Canada. The 30 best cities in the world. Toronto, Canada. Toronto is a great boring city. It doesn't really jump off the charts at you for any particular reason, but it's a great place to be outside of winter. I've been numerous times and each time, I always have a great time. I have friends there which helps, but it also has world-class sporting venues, marginal at best teams, but fanatical fans which I love. It's also home to the Hockey Hall of Fame, some cool sights, good restaurants and excellent hotels. It's a very livable place but also great to visit. Singapore, the 30 best cities in the world. Singapore has it all. It boasts some of the best restaurants in the world. It's also home to Asia's best cocktail scene and has one of the world's greatest skylines. I was recently there for the Formula 1 Singapore Grand Prix and it was run like an efficient machine. I love walking around Singapore and sweating profusely because it doesn't even bother me. The people are a dream, and aside from being very expensive and really humid, it's an ideal 100% safe destination. Chicago, USA. The 30 best cities in the world. Chicago, Illinois, USA. I love Chicago. It's possibly the best second city in the world, even though they talk with a funny accent. I love to visit there 1 to 2 times a year and just stuff my face with deep dish pizza, steak and go to a Cubs game. The Windy City is brutal in the winter but perhaps the best city in the world in spring and summer. The views from and of Lake Michigan are perfect. Chicago is my kind of town, to quote the great Frank Sinatra. Mexico City, Mexico. The 30 best cities in the world. Mexico City, Mexico. CDMX or Mexico City is one of the most underrated cities in the world. From street tacos that'll knock your socks off, world-class soccer at Estadio Azteca, excellent sights and a cosmopolitan vibe, I love CDMX. Mexico City does nice really well, from excellent hotels, parks and restaurants to a tremendous cocktail and nightlife scene. The traffic really sucks, but stay near where you want to hang out and you'll be good to go. Los Angeles, USA. The 30 best cities in the world. LA, Los Angeles, USA. California. LA is like my second home. I'm basically there once a month or so, and I will likely end up moving there at some point soon. To know LA is to love it. Yes, the traffic sucks, but again, stay or live where your life is. There's so many great areas and neighborhoods in LA that you'll never run out of things to do, and if you get bored, go hiking or go to the beach. 20. Dubai, UAE. The 30 best cities in the world. Dubai, UAE. Dubai is what it is, and you must accept it. Much like Las Vegas, if you accept it for what it is, you'll love it. It has everything you want and need and much more. It has the best of everything and should be enjoyed and not looked down upon. Yes, it's hot in the summer, but everything is air-conditioned, so just get over it. 19. Lisbon, Portugal. The 30 best cities in the world. Lisbon, Portugal. Lisbon is the single most underrated city in Europe. It's a great place and I absolutely love it. It can hang with any of the great European cities. It's beautiful, of course, but also boasts a killer food scene, great rooftop bars, and is the centerpiece of amazing nearby towns that are great for day trips. Don't ignore Lisbon because it'll blow you away. 18. Vancouver, Canada. The 30 best cities in the world. Lisbon, Lisboa, Portugal. Vancouver is a city you kinda forget about because it's tucked away in the Pacific Northwest. But it's absolutely stunning with sparkling new buildings everywhere, amazing Asian food, and one of the best urban parks on earth in Stanley Park. It's also the gateway to Whistler and the stunning scenery that'll greet you on your journey up there. There's nothing must-see in Vancouver, but it's a place that has to be experienced to get it. They also ran the best Winter Olympics I've been to back in 2010. 17. Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. The 30 best cities in the world. Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Rio de Janeiro is a great city and perhaps I'd have it higher, but I haven't been there since 2007. I remember amazing scenery, of course, top-notch food and acai, plus excellent cocktails and a culture as vibrant as any on earth. I cannot wait to return to Rio, and perhaps my next update will have it much higher on the list. 16. Amsterdam, Netherlands. The 30 best cities in the world. Amsterdam, Holland, Netherlands. Amsterdam is a lot more than weed, red light district and sex shows. Amsterdam is amongst the most beautiful cities in Europe, with stunning canals, amazing architecture, and it's one of the best walking cities in the world. The food isn't that good, but of course there are top restaurants where you can get international favorites. Just watch out for bikes, they're everywhere. 15. Prague, Czech Republic. The 30 best cities in the world. Prague, Czech Republic. Haha, I love Prague. I've been many times and even lived there for a semester of business school. I've had some amazing times there and feel fortunate to have lived there with 4 friends in a great apartment. Prague is also gorgeous any way you slice it. There are views down every alleyway and across every bridge. If you've been, you know what I mean, and Prague is worthy of multiple visits. Shanghai, China. The 30 best cities in the world. Shanghai, China. Shanghai is a great city, the best city on mainland China, and it's not even close in my view. Shanghai is distinctly Chinese but has a cosmopolitan European feel to it. Its skyline is one of the world's best, and it's full of amazing food for every budget. I love walking the Bund and heading across the river into Pudong and seeing what's new. Great town spanning a century of changes. Bangkok, Thailand. The 30 best cities in the world. Bangkok, Thailand. Bangkok is ugly, dirty, filthy, it smells like crap. Traffic is a nightmare, there's a billion people and it's hotter than hell, but I love it. I love all the crap about Bangkok and have learned to love this stinking town. I hated it the first few times I went, but I learned to accept it for what it is and see the great parts come through. Mainly I love the food, to be honest. That's a common theme for my travels, but few places do street food or gourmet food like Bangkok, and it's also amongst the cheapest cities on earth. 12. Berlin, Germany. The 30 best cities in the world. Berlin, Germany. Berlin is just cool. It's a great place to hang out, stroll the historic streets and contemplate modern history. It's also a very cool, hip place to eat, play, drink and just take it all in. Berlin won't blow you away with sights, but it does have some good ones. Berlin is just a cool place that the experience will speak for itself. 11. Las Vegas, USA. The 30 best cities in the world. Las Vegas, Nevada. Las Vegas is another of the cities I feel most at home in. I've been there over 100 times and know it as good as anyone, both on and off the Strip. The best parts of Vegas are off the Strip and really within a 2-hour radius of amazing national and state parks. The nature around Vegas is what appeals to me, and of course you have the bright lights of the Strip and casinos, but talk to any local and they rarely even go. Vegas is what it is, and if you don't like Vegas, the problem is you. 10. Buenos Aires, Argentina. The 30 best cities in the world. Buenos Aires, Argentina. Buenos Aires RBA is without question the best city in Latin America. The vibe, the steak, the wine, the vibrant people and bustling streets are no joke. I love this city and debated having it higher on the list. I could spend a year in BA, but then I'd probably have to learn to dance. 9. Rome, Italy. The 30 best cities in the world. Rome, Italy. Rome, the eternal city, took a while to grow on me, but after 7 visits or so, I love it. Walking the confusing streets will keep you occupied all day, while the restaurant scene will keep you occupied and fat all night. Rome is a big city with so much to see and do, with world-class everything. You'll need some time to see it all and really take in, with all the stops for coffee and gelato. Rome rocks. 8. Melbourne, Australia. The 30 best cities in the world. Melbourne, Australia. Melbourne is an amazing city. I absolutely love it and debated having it higher. The only reason I don't is because there's no one thing to see or do in Melbourne. It's more of an overall experience. Melbourne does big international events very well, like the Australian Open, F Grand Prix, Melbourne Cup, and of course Aussie rules football. It also boasts perhaps the best coffee scene on earth and a vibrant restaurant culture in the CBD. It's also the gateway to the Great Ocean Road and wine country. Melbourne is great. 7. Barcelona, Spain. The 30 best cities in the world. Barcelona, Spain. Barcelona was my first favorite city. I still love it, and I really love the FC Barcelona football club. Walking around the Gothic streets around the Ramblas is one of my favorite things in any city. Barcelona has a great beach, great sights, shopping, food, and is just a cool place to be. Barcelona's nightlife is legendary. I've had some amazing nights out there since my first visit back in 1998. I cannot wait to go back. 6. Hong Kong. Are China the 30 best cities in the world? Hong Kong, China. Hong Kong is my biggest jump in this list. Before last year I had been to Hong Kong several times, but always for a day or so, here and there on long layovers, with the exception of my first visit in 1999 when I was a kid. Now I see why it's such a highly regarded city and think it's one of the world's best cities. World-class hotels, food, buildings, attractions, and just an awesome vibe in a beautiful city. 5. London, England. The 30 best cities in the world. London, England. London is my OG city. It's the first place I ever traveled to back in 1998 and literally changed my outlook on life. I still love it after more than 70 visits and always get excited to go back. London will always have a soft spot in my heart, but it's also a city that just keeps improving. Mainly, its food scene in the last 15 to 20 years is like night and day. Now it's a great foodie destination with lots of great markets, international restaurants, and of course great sports and sporting venues. 4. Cape Town, South Africa. The 30 best cities in the world. Cape Town, South Africa. If you've been to Cape Town, you get why it's this high on my list. It's the single most beautiful city in the world in an area of Africa that is truly God's country. From the Cape Winelands to the Cape of Good Hope, Cape Town and its surrounding regions are simply the best. They've also improved their hotels, food scene, nightlife, and also safety. Now Cape Town is truly world-class and I've always felt very safe there. Not to mention stunning beaches and natural landscapes. 3. Paris, France. The 30 best cities in the world. Paris, France. Paris, of course, is high up on the list. I mean, who doesn't love Paris? We all may have some issues with French people being rude, but there's no doubting the greatness of the City of Lights. I could stroll the streets of Paris for days, and I have. Paris has it all, and no matter how many times you've seen the sights, it's always fun to go back and see it again. Especially in the springtime. Paris has untold amounts of great food, sports, and just pure life. 2. Sydney, Australia. The 30 best cities in the world. Sydney, Australia. To visit Sydney is to love Sydney. I'm not sure how you couldn't love this amazing city. It's gorgeous, has gorgeous beaches, great walks, world-class food, hotels, sights, parks, and it's literally on the sea with a bunch of little islets with great towns and beaches. I was just there, and already can't wait to return. Sydney is magical and needs to be visited by any traveler. 1. New York, USA. The 30 best cities in the world. New York, USA. My hometown is the best city in the world. It doesn't have great beaches, although it does have them, but it really does have the best of everything with the exception of weather. But you deal with it because New York is New York. It's gritty, it's beautiful in a weird way, and has the top-of-the-line everything. It's the capital of the world. It's the epicenter of power, money, media, food, night,